Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Before I Go podcast. Here's a question. What do you do for a living? When I meet someone new, that is usually one of the first questions that I ask. The bigger question, though, the one that I don't ask is, how did you get there? Is that what you always wanted to do? My daughter is an elementary school teacher. She wanted to be a teacher ever since she was in kindergarten. She finished high school, graduated from college, and immediately became a teacher. She knew what she wanted and never strayed from that path. I admire her for that and anyone else who has a similar story. I have no idea what that is like. My story is a little different. Growing up, I had no idea what I wanted to do other than get the hell out of my parents' house. When I graduated high school and went to college, I majored in human services because I thought I was going to be a social worker. And I have no memory as to why I chose that major or that profession. Maybe a guidance counselor told me. I don't know. In any event, I have had so many jobs in so many different fields. Jobs, not careers, jobs. I got my first job at 15 years old as a clerk typist at the Naval Underwater Systems Center. I worked for an hour and a half after school each day and then full-time during the summer. It was the first time that I received a paycheck with my name on it, and I fell in love with the notion of earning my own money. I remember there was a store on the corner of the street where I grew up, and I remember taking my little money and buying a soda and a Suzy Q whenever I wanted with my own money. It was also when I learned the concept that no one lives for free because I had to give my parents a portion of my check each payday. It was a good lesson, and I'm glad that I learned it. The summer after I graduated high school, I got a job as a housekeeper on the subbase. That was the coolest job ever. There were a bunch of us housekeepers, and we were assigned to the midshipmen's quarters, and we did regular housekeeping duties, changing linens, dusting, vacuuming, cleaning bathrooms, that sort of thing. The cool part was that the midshipmen rotated out every week, so there was a new batch of good-looking dudes to look at every week. I also had to work one weekend a month, and during that weekend, I was assigned to the officers' quarters. That was fine, except for the one time when I knocked on a door and after not receiving an answer, I opened the door with my key only to find a naked officer sound asleep on top of the covers. Yeah. While I was in college, I had a few jobs. The school that I went to had a cooperative education program, which meant that starting in my sophomore year, I would go to school for a semester, then work for a semester, then go to school for a semester, and so on. The idea was that you would get a job in your field and graduate with work experience. That was the idea anyway. However, there was always the chance that there were no available co-op jobs in your field, so you just have to take whatever you could get. I worked at the United Way, a daycare center, and for some reason at the National Braille Press, which was a printing press that created books written in Braille. After I dropped out of college, I once again worked for the Naval Underwater Systems Center and the Word Processing Center, which is exactly what it sounds like. I stayed there for about a year and then moved on to the Supervisor of Shipbuilding, or SUPSHIP, and started as a clerk typist and then was promoted to procurement specialist, and those are just fancy titles which all mean secretary. After a few years, I went to work for a company that specialized in automated litigation services. In a nutshell, the company created databases for law firms and other legal service companies, and I stayed with this company until I moved to Virginia. In Virginia, I worked as a temp in a law firm for a few months before I found permanent employment with a real estate appraiser. After working there for 4 years, I got a job with the first of 7 defense contractors, and that's what I've been doing since 1997, with a short break between 2015 and 2017 when I quit to work in fitness full-time. I have had a lot of jobs, almost all of them in an office in an administrative capacity with various titles. The titles didn't mean that much to me, and as it turned out, neither did the job. My mantra has always been, just give me my check. Jobs come and go. Aside from my stint in the fitness industry, I never viewed my place of employment as a place to find personal fulfillment. A job is where you go to earn a living. All my job owes me is a paycheck. When I did look for personal fulfillment in the fitness industry, I found it, but I could not earn a living, at least not one that could sustain me. For me, the two couldn't exist. Either I could make money or I could be personally fulfilled. I chose to make money and to find fulfillment outside of the workplace. That doesn't mean that I don't like my job. As long as my work environment is comfortable, my coworkers are respectful, and the benefits are good, then I'm good. I know that's not everyone's story. There's plenty of hype out there that tells you that you can have it all and that you can wake up and love what you do and that you can make money doing what you love. I've heard it all. It's just not my story. And that's okay. I admire people like my daughter who figure out what they want and get it and feel fulfilled by it. However, I don't feel like I failed because that wasn't my path. My path isn't worse or better. It's just different. It's what has worked for me. What about you? Do you get personal fulfillment from your job, or is that something that you get in outside interests? Either way, I hope that you wake up every morning and go to bed every night feeling fulfilled in your life. If not, do something about it. Well, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for listening. But before I go, let me share this with you from Dolly Parton. Don't get so busy making a living that you forget to make a life. I'll see you next time.